G'day, mate. Welcome back to Factorio with me, Jetty. Welcome to episode 33, which is going to be the final episode in my definitive guide to Factorio. Actually, in saying that, we might end up doing a recap episode, sort of like a summary episode covering just a quick recover of everything we did in every episode, but we'll work out that after the fact. But now, this is the final episode. This will be the final episode where I will have a chance to teach you the last of the tricks that you might need to be able to build your factory, keep building your factory, keep expanding your factory, making something brilliant, something better, something big, have a rocket launch whilst you're trying to talk to people. Yes, this will be the last episode where I guess I have to teach you the last couple of tricks that I wanted to cover, like how to boost the main bus with extra booster lanes, at the same time how to make sure that your walls are auto-defended. That's really going to be the points of this episode. So with all that said, let's run the intro, and I'll see you after that. So with that out of the way, the first thing I want to cover is how to boost your main bus. So we remember back to all the way episode whatever it was where we started actually building the main bus and having these lanes, these splitters to automatically force materials down. So if we go back to the start of the bus, we can see we're bringing in 4 lanes of copper. After we take off originally to run our green circuits, we go from 4 full lanes down to 2.5, let's say a little bit over a half. And then after we run down our second line of belts to do even more green circuits. Speaking of green circuits, I'm pretty sure yellow. Yeah, they probably need a smidge of an upgrade. So after we get to here, we've gone from 2.5 belts down to 1.5 belts. Obviously, the increase in productivity modules for the assemblers and speed, the speed modules in the beacons themselves, has meant we're getting more green circuits out for less copper and iron in. Obviously, if I was to turn that off, because that's annoying, if I was to upgrade this again to tier 3 modules for the assemblers and for the beacons, I could probably even squeeze more out of this system. In fact, actually, from the looks of it, given how far our iron is not making it now, I could even trim off the end of... yes, all of that can go. That can go. Anyway, whatever. We're not meant to be playing this. We're meant to be doing this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add in 2 more booster lanes. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to add in... Actually, let's do a demonstration. So I don't want to tag this in. We obviously want an output priority on the right. We want an input priority input for priority from the right. So anything that's coming through the main bus keeps coming through the main bus, and then we just use this to boost things up. What I don't want to do is I don't want to do this. I don't want to bring in the lane at the top, and it has to get to the first split off to then move down to the 3rd lane, to then get to the 2nd split off to be moved down to the 2nd lane, which is the point where it's actually probably helping, but then potentially have to go to the 3rd split off for it to definitely be down to the bottom lane, or have the possibility of being down to the bottom lane where it could definitely kick in. So that's not what I want to do. I want to force this material down straight away. So let's just put a small cut in here so we can get our nice clean belts. What I want to do is I want to do this. So I'm having input priority from the right and output priority from the right, and you can see that this material is coming in and it's zigzagging its way all the way down to this bottom belt, which then means it's basically taking over powering the bus. If I hook these back in, we'll just disconnect that for a sec, wait for we clear the backlog of copper that we finally have for a change, get back to our nice 2.5, 1.5 belts. Come on, all of you march through, hurry up. There we go. If I then add this in, we should see this belt fills right the way up, and then we should have this one have like half a belt left over. So if we turn that on, we should see this belt fills up straight away. Yep, and we have half a belt now up here. So I have a second lane up here, which I obviously want to tag in. Now, I'd love to tag it in right there to another splitter, but you can see because we have a splitter here, it's going to attempt to side load, so that's not going to work for us. We need to move it out another tile, and then do the exact same. And after the splitters finish clearing up the mess they just caused, we now go back to 3 full lanes. You can see these are doing little staggered jumps. It just comes down to the way splitters work sometimes. They do this little stuttering thing. And we've got we've definitely got a full lane up here, so up to 3.5 belts. With a little bit left over, it looks like we're back to almost 4 belts. Yeah, that's a lot of material, but this is how we add more materials to our bus. This is how we can continue making our bus longer and longer and longer. I could take the whole factory. I could take everything from... Okay, we wouldn't need a workshop, but I could take everything from here to here, blueprint it all out, go to map view and say, yeah, well, actually, let's take it with the bus included. Yeah, let's go all in. You know, we'd obviously still need a bus. There to there. Take the whole thing. Line up neatly on the end. Where's the end? Where's the neatness part? I don't know. About there somewhere? About there somewhere. Paste the whole thing and just double the base. Okay? I can do that now. You know, sure, there's two outposts down here that probably are not included, and all these belts around the background, and you know, the pipes we would continue through from here onwards. And we obviously probably also wouldn't want a solar panel in the middle of the base blueprint, but my point has been made. You can literally just duplicate your base and just keep adding booster lines, okay? You can continue to upgrade your modules. This is probably the next step I would be coming to the very end of my bus and be going, okay, I want productivity modules and I want speed modules in the level 3 variety. I'd build a little build out here that does speed 1s into speed 2s, into speed 3s, into speed 4s. Speed 4s. I wish there were speed 4s. There's no speed 4s in vanilla. But 1s to 2s to 3s. And I'd do the same for productivity modules. I'd be like 1s to 2s to 3s. Just get it done. Get it done. Get it done, boys. Wow, that is... Products finished 5... 16, 18, 5. All of that does not get... Ooh. 18, 13... So you only have products down to about here, and all these are just working off a belt buffer. They can keep working. Whatever. We're done with the series. So that was the first thing I want to cover. The second thing I want to cover is going to be Spidertrons and Outposts. But before I do that, I do want to make like a small announcement. Okay. So with this series ending, we're going to be going back to a previous series that I was doing just before 1.0 came out. It is It was something special I did for hitting 5,000 subscribers back in March of this year, and since then the channel has exploded. And yes, it means I've basically made no progress in 6 months of a series, because what I was actually doing is, as you can see up here, we've launched 6 rockets. I was basically doing the same thing for every single subscriber. I'd made an API, I'd cobbled together an API from the YouTube API and from an in Factorio game API, where every single person that gets a rocket launched has their name on the rocket, pulled straight from the YouTube API. So you actually get a rocket with your name on it, so to speak. It's a little bit more expensive than a rocket, but like, if you want to watch a series, you want to watch something that makes a mega base look small, makes what we're doing look tiny. I think my base is about that size. And then some. That's the main base. There are separate outposts above me on that, each of which are probably bigger than this whole base by itself. As an outpost, like as one of these things, yeah. So that series is going to be restarting. You'll probably find the actual first episode either... Well, the first true episode went out just before this episode or just after this episode. I've been really behind lately trying to get stuff edited and everything. It's been a bit of a nightmare. But yes, that will be going out, and that will be the series I'll be continuing. On top of that, I also have the wonderful series I'm doing with Pooba. Pooba's another fine YouTuber. On top of that, she's funny as hell. So we're currently doing I guess, a bit of a Death World series. So I'm doing that as well, along with there are a number of tutorial videos I want to cover in more depth, actually, you'll probably find just before this video went out, I did a whole separate video on just covering robots, a really deep dive in robots, and then I still have to do one on uranium, another one on trains. So I do have a lot of tutorial videos still to come out that I just haven't had time to do in the meantime. Lastly, I do want to mention, and this is sort of a bit of a personal pride thing. So as you might have noticed, or might not have noticed because you run way too many ad blockers, is this channel doesn't have a lot of ads on it, okay? I generally have an ad like every 15-20 minutes. So during a standard episode, you might see one ad, possibility two. Plus, YouTube likes putting them at the start and the end, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So, yes, right? You'll probably see maybe 2 ads in a 30-40 minute episode. Normal videos, if you watch any other part of YouTube without ad blocker on or without a premium account, you might notice are slightly full of ads. Yes, so yeah, I'm not a fan of ads, hence why this channel, as I said, prides itself on not having a lot of ads. Secondly, it is very, very much community focused, community funded. So rather than having lots and lots of ads, lots and lots of sponsors, I instead ask you guys, look, what do you pay per month on Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu or any of the other subscription services out there? All right. I like using Netflix only because my partner pays for Netflix and we don't watch. Well, she watches a little bit. The kids watch it a lot, but one of the adults of the house, I really don't watch it. But yeah, we pay $15 a month for Netflix, and we might watch maybe an hour every other day. So maybe 3 hours a week. So maybe 12 hours a month, and I'm paying $15 for that pleasure. $15 for 12 hours worth of video. So I'm paying over $1 an hour for the video, yeah, for that subscription service. In saying that, I do pay for YouTube Premium, which is about $15, $20 a month. But then again, I probably watch 2 or 3 or 4 hours worth of YouTube per day between watching and listening to podcasts, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and they're all ad-free because I'm paying for the premium service. So I do ask you guys, okay, it has popped up across the bottom screen, Patreon is a great option. There's a special option there for those that wish to run ad blocker and feel a little bit guilty about it. I think it's a $2 option, and it just gives you immunity, absolution, whatever you want to call it, from using ad blocker on my videos. I really don't mind that you do. I completely understand. Majority of people that use ad blocker, I personally use ad blocker all over the internet, except on YouTube, because generally I like supporting the creators, and as I said, I do have that premium account, which means I don't see ads anyway. Same goes for Twitch. I do stream on Twitch. You might have seen maybe a pop-up down the bottom, maybe Editor Jetty is putting in one right now. Again, Twitch, I don't run any ad blockers on there because I do like supporting the creators I watch, either through a subscription, again, I don't get to see ads then, or through a through a subscription over on Twitch, or I just put up with the ads if I can't afford to throw somebody I enjoy watching and I get a couple of hours of entertainment out of per week, or probably a lot more. Yeah, a subscription and that therefore I support them, and therefore they don't have to watch ads. Anyway, well, I shouldn't have to watch ads. Anyway, I'm getting completely sidetracked. Yes, if you wish to support the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. As I said, Patreon is my preferred. There's also YouTube members. YouTube members, again, same story. You can support directly through YouTube if you don't want to go off-site. One of the options there, well, one of the options with any of the different supports, so either supporting me through Twitch or Patreon or YouTube, I'm going to get so winded, is if you join our Discord server and you link your accounts to get access to the special behind the scenes sections where you get to watch the videos early. So, you know, that robot one I mentioned, that's already went out to patrons. Well, the supporters. It went out in the supporters lounge like a week ago. Some of these episodes have been going out early, a couple of days early to the supporters, so they get to watch it early. Other times I just end up flat out and they go out as the time, you know, as quick as they possibly can. Anyway, with all that said, I want to get back onto trying to set up a automated station. So what I want to do is I altered our blueprint, okay? We had a perfectly good train here that would have just delivered the good stuff, but I wanted to go a little bit better. I wanted to deliver all the stuff. And I really wanted to do it with one of these included. I want to deliver artillery shells. Okay, so I updated this end already. And we've updated this end to do a couple of things. One, let's just look at the north side. Let's look at the north side. Yeah, let's look at, sure, the north side. So we have our train. Our train, which is going to come in, if I get out of the way, like this, okay? So it's going to come in, it's going to have our wagon full of all our bits and pieces. It's going to be able to unload them. At the same time, it can unload roboports, and over here, behind the artillery wagon, we're actually going to load artillery shells into an artillery wagon. Main reason being, as we know, a shell stack in a stack size of 1. So if I was to put them in a normal cargo wagon, I'd only be able to store 40. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. If I put them in an artillery wagon, I can store 100, because artillery wagons can have the shells stack up to 100. On top of that, I can use an inserter to pull them out, put them in a box, and then use a stationary artillery to cover the area when the mobile artillery has left. Okay? So that's the plan here. On top of that, you might have noticed that everything on the north side of the track is duplicated to the south side of the track. The main reason is if my train drives in this way and then leaves and then goes through a loop-de-loop station, which we have over here, and then exits again, it's going to, every single time, it's going to keep turning around. Because it keeps turning around, it's going to keep swapping ends. So the front will end up the back will end up the front, so on and so forth. So what I want to do is I want to make sure everything that we're doing on the top side with the loading and unloading and everything else, I also want to duplicate on the bottom side. So this is basically what I've done. On top of that, I do want to cover really quickly. I could do some funny business, and it would be some funny business. I could do with some funny business, okay? Some really, really funny business. I don't like that wire. Can we make that wire go up and then down? So it sort of looks like it's going over the... Over. Where's my wire? Wire. Okay, now it looks like it's going over the station. So, one of the things I could have done is I can use a whole bunch of combinators, and I guess we should do a live example. Combinator. We'll use this roboport. And then I want another power pole here. And we can take off the roboport to a wire. And as you can see, because this has got the tick box for read logistics network contents, I can actually have that output the whole contents of the network on this red wire, which I've hooked into a power pole just so we can hover our mouse over it and we can see it really, really quickly. And then I could put in a combinator, a decider combinator, and hook the wire into the combinator. And what I can do is here is I can say, hey, you know what? Artillery shells. If you have less than 5 inside my network, and you got to remember, my network is going to be right out in the middle of nowhere, so it's only going to be these chests plus what's in storage. You could output 1 red signal. Bad shit is happening. Okay, and then I could wire that into there. Now, obviously, out in the middle of nowhere, it would be reading from, well, these chests, if I made them red chests. If they're red chests, they're passive provided chests. The roboport can access these chests and read these chests. Yeah, I'm not going to do that this time, but you know, I could do that. At the same time, I could put in a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and I could say, you know what, all that red wire needs to join together. And to make my life easy, we're going to copy and paste. We're going to say, hey, you're going to be lasers. If there's less than 10 in the network. 10 in the network's a bad sign. What else? Substations. We do substation. That one. And then wall. Wall's a good one. Wall. Actually, probably repair packs, honestly. And robots. Like, So I could read all those conditions, and I could say, where's my red wire, and join all the outputs together. So they're all coming out to this one connection. And how ingrained is that roboport? Pretty damn ingrained. Yeah. So we're going to change all these conditions to above, just for this example. Purely so I don't have to disconnect everything from the main robot network. But yes, if they were set to anything, basically, if whatever is less than the amount I want in stock, I could output a red signal, a bright red signal to this wire. And I could take that red wire after I handcrafted more, and I could hook that into the roboport, into the train station. And I can say enable, disable. And the enable condition is, hey, if the oh shit command is greater than 0, turn the station on. And as we can see, the station is definitely turned on because there is 4 oh shit signals coming into the roboport, into the train station. So I don't actually want to do this for this example because I don't want to go through all the different bits I need for all the different stations. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to have you be set to if artillery shells are less than 5. Because it's a pretty good number. If it's reading this box with a red wire up to this power pole down to red wire. Why do I keep losing my red wire? Oh, really? Red wire there to there. So it's reading this box up to this power, up to this substation, across this power pole, down to this box. Again, we're reading the contents of this box, then across the substation, train station, and it's saying, hey, if there's less than 5 in here, shit hit fan, we need help. Nope, I don't want to rename the station. I want to redo the coloring. Yes, so if there's less than 5 in this box, we're going to enable the station. The reason I want to enable the station is I want the train to come and deliver probably all the other supplies, but more importantly, I want those artillery shells, because it means that the biters have been pushed far enough back and then have crept forward again enough times that they've taken out, they've used up the 5 artillery shells that would be physically in the artillery turret, and they've used the 5 artillery shells I'd have in one of these 2 boxes. It all depends whether the train comes in forward or backward, which one gets loaded, but the point is the same. Yeah, there's 5 in each, okay? The only other modification I did since last episode is I changed this to bring in wood, coal, and stone. Main reason is at this end, we're going to modify this end to match the other end. So first things first is I want to uncap that. I want to, and I need to remove the inserters first, otherwise they're going to go crazy, and they're just going to start shoveling all sorts of crap into the train. I want to have wood, and the reason is, in case, purely in case we end up in a situation where I end up building, or you end up building on top of a forest or a couple of rocks, we can have that crap be loaded into the train at that end, and then at this end be unloaded from the train, and actually it's going to go into an active provider, which means the bots will empty the chest and the crap will go away. Case in point. Okay, so that's that. I also had to do a... because it turns out they're not in the network. One of them, cut that, and I want to put that there. Because it turns out I don't put robots in the network, they go straight into a machine. So we need to load this up. So it doesn't matter whether the artillery wagon's in the front or in the rear, or whether our cargo wagon's in the front or the rear. Either way, it gets loaded. So what I want to do is I want to remove these back a tile and also put them over this side. At the same time, this one does substations, which we're going to move up and over. I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to put that there. There's a couple of items that are really slow to load, like this one being walls. Walls I want to put there, and there, only because walls are There's 100 of them, and I'm loading, how much is that? 800? 800 onto the train. So it's going to take a very, very long time for me to get them in, because what we're actually going to do is we're going to use long-hand inserters. And the reason we're going to use long-hand inserters is their reach. Plain and simply, it's their reach. Can I craft 5 of those? We want to have... Yeah, I want to put 2 of those there, 1 of those there. Nope, I missed. It's the front line for all those guys. In the rear line, we're going to come here and we're going to say, hey you, I'd like shells. 10 of, please. Actually, probably 20. Yes, and then we're going to copy and paste that all the way along. So it means these inserters at the rear can, these boxes at the rear can be loaded with these rear inserters into either this wagon for artillery shells, or this wagon for artillery shells. Lo and behold, the artillery shells are going to be on this side. Turn my robots back on. I need to have a Spidertron, because I need to load Spidertron up with. Give me those, give me those. You can go away, you can go away. I want to have 30 of those, 40 of those, 10 of those, 20 of those, 5 of those. What else might Spidertron be missing? Artillery turrets, because he's going to have to put them down. Signals. You have substations, roboports, red chests. I think that's everything Spidey needs. Alright, point is, we're loading you up, we're unloading those, unloading those, unloading those. Do you have active providers? So you have. And that's the next thing we need to do. We need to make a blueprint of this in its entirety. Save the train stop names, create the blueprint. Call you artillery automation. That'll do. Alright. So you need 15 filter inserters. Okay. Let's just hand crank out some more of those real quick. 15 filter inserters, 9 providers, 2 steel chests, 2 roboports, 2 blue chests, storage chests, missed storage chests, power pole substation. No power pole, it turns out. Well, there you go. We learnt something. Have cliff explosive, have railway track, have roboports, have train stations, train signals, train everything. Has wood for reasons. I don't need you to carry lasers. I do need substations. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay. Alright, so we have our train, we have our blueprint, we have our Spidertron. We're going to send a Spidertron up here. We're going to take down our station, and I'm going to plop one right here. And if all goes well, we should be able to just put that in there, and that in there. Have a Spidertron come along and go, you're the out. So on the way in, you need a chain signal. No. In, you need a chain signal. Out, you need a chain signal. In, you need a full signal. Out, you need a full signal. If we run a Spidertron just over to here. Cool. We set you to go to... We set you to be color black. And we call you... wall supply. We set you to go to wall supply. Time passed 30 seconds. Inactivity 5 seconds. Then we go to north wall. This says 1 out of 2 because they're going to only access one of the 2 stops. So there's one here and there's one here. You can only see one of the 2. So I want to go to there. I go inactivity plus time passed. And then what I can actually do is I can set up multiple of these. So it could, theoretically, after we have multiple stations set up, go from one north wall here to say another north wall here to say another north wall over here, and just keep going between them. And only after it's done 3 or 4 does it come back to base, because chances are it's going to be delivering artillery shells and not a whole lot much more. What do we want? We want time passed. Okay, we're going to set you off. There you go. At the same time, I want to disable that station. And all I need to do that is 10 shells. Oh. Oh, that's right. You're going to load them in the artillery. Okay, you're now disabled. That made life easier. Spidertron's up here. We're going to have Spidertron. Where's my remote? Oh, there it is. Alright, train's going to come along. It's going to unload. It's going to have a roboport. It's going to have all the bits and pieces. It needs to build a robo network from side to side. At the same time, I'd like better laser coverage, especially if I have an artillery wagon that's going to start going ballistic. Another roboport there. It now has full coverage. It's loaded up with shells. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, bad train. Get back in your station. Alright, back in your station. Okay, just pause there for a minute and pretend like you've done things, okay? Alright, Spidertron. So, if one was to build a little kink in the rail, you gotta delete that last one track, then you can move it over here. Oh. We get there eventually. And then take a little rail blueprint and drop it right on the end. And in theory, Spiderbot should be able to remove everything, set up everything. We should have a new north wall, which means you can now go to north wall number 2. And I keep pressing map view to exit map view, forgetting I'm in map view for a reason. And then if we grab a roboport and we extend the network down here, meanwhile we'll extend the laser network. Is there a robot hanging out there? Oh no, you just added the robots. Never mind. Yep, we're using artillery to clear out the neighbors. There's actually that one. There's no robots. There's no robots in the wagon. That'd do it. Do you have too many robots? You have 150. I'm guessing you don't have a light switched on. Oh, they both have lights switched on. T. Oh, we're looking for a total of 150 robots. Ah! And leave any robots in the train. Rookie mistakes. Rookie mistakes. But we can also see that it doesn't have enough shells because it keeps firing them. So this box is now empty. This artillery turret only has 2 shells in it now because it keeps taking care of our friends. All our friends. Also means that when we research the next artillery range upgrade, all of our stations or all of our wall stations would turn on. They clear out everything, and our little automated train, which can't get into the station because I didn't fix that problem, would go out and resupply every single station, one by one by one. Trash. Trash. Solved. Yes. Okay. So train has now, actually hasn't looped loop because it went and did 2 stations at once. So it's come back clean, turn the facing the right direction still. It's going to reload. It's 150 bots. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to do repair packs. And robots. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Each time you build a blueprint, occasionally it requires a little bit of tweaking. Spidertron, how about you move over here? I really didn't want you actually building that, but sure. There. The substation's in the way. Well, build to the left of the substation, you idiots. Alright, where's my train? It's gotta be it right there. Yeah, it is. Alright, train comes in. Train's going to resupply a second time. At the same time, well, this time he's come in, he's driven in the right way, so rather than loading up this gun, we're now loading up this gun. Another roboport down here at the same time. Radar down there. And trees. Please go away, trees. Now, unfortunately, you went too early, so I want to take my targeting remote, and I want to shoot you. Swivel, 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 bang. Bang. So that should turn the station back on. It has, because we shot one shell, therefore we don't have enough in storage. Therefore, we need a new delivery from the train. Therefore, you should come take away our trash. Because that's full. I don't have Logibots to remove things from storage. So, realistically, I should have... Come on. Set your request over here. I should just set them massively. So I should have set you to... Oop, sorry. The mic got in the way. Got whacked on the way through. 2,400. That's 24,000. That's close enough. No, you should be 2,400. You should be 2,400. And you should be, because you're stacking hundreds, 48. 100. Yes. Paste that there, paste that there, zoom back out, paste that here. Because it's a logistics job, a logistics robot's job to move things out of storage and into here, I obviously can't do that automatically, but I can remove more trees. And we'll see the bots will automatically make sure it goes into these two chests. Now, technically, I've requested too much, and technically, I had to overfill them. But I really don't care. Honestly, I really don't care. As long as most of the trash gets exported, I call that a win. It also means that each time this train comes out, this 5 seconds of inactivity is going to keep this train here until I finish loading up with as much wood as possible. But with all that said, that's really what I wanted to cover. Yes, I still need to technically make one out here and probably link this whole wall as two separate robots networks, as two networks, and probably just combine them because I could combine them across the edge of the lake. Same story here. I need to really put down a wall station down here, have this as one network as well, and that means technically I could probably put one here or bring the train tracks up and disconnect this whole line. They're all things I should be doing. They're all things that I'm not going to do in this episode. Sorry, I just kicked over a heater. It's just finished being winter here and somebody left it under the table. Yep. So I am not going to do it in this series, obviously, because this is the end of the last episode. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope that this series has helped you out. You've learned something along the way. Like I said, I am going to continue our SpaceX Redux, which is... Yeah, it's a heavy-duty base. It's a heavy-duty base. At the same time, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for coming along for the ride. At the same time, actually, I also want to ask, as always, if you learned something along the way, and you found the video helpful, click the like button, click the subscribe button. That way you make sure you're going to get notified of the next Factorio video and the next Factorio series, because it's already been decided. I just need to finish the current ones. Yes, I think that's everything. I think that's absolutely everything. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming along. It's been fun. It's been a ball. By all means, come join us on Discord, because that's another thing with 1.0 being out long enough that a lot of the new players are sort of caught up to speed. I have had a habit of running community maps for, I'd say, about a year and a half now. These are open community maps. Anybody from the community is more than welcome to join, and we're going to start running them again pretty much about once a month. They're all streamed over on Twitch. Occasionally the videos do pop over to YouTube, mainly in the form of we'll do a trailer for the month coming, and then sometimes the live streams get brought across, often not, but you know, yeah, it's chaos. It's chaos. It's multiplayer chaos, and it's a bunch of laughs with a bunch of friends. Anyway, with all that said, finally done. I finally wish to thank you guys so much for coming along for the ride, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Yeah, there'll be a Factorio video tomorrow. There's a Factorio video here every day. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Bye.